All right, everybody, before we do get started with this video, gotta first give a big shout out to the Apology Archive. It looks like they're a YouTube channel who basically just posts up apology videos from different content creators, when they have some big oopsie poopsie moments. See here. They have Logan Paul, I believe this was from the Japan incidents. They kicked off with Colleen Ballinger's ukulele apology, which, let's just say, one of the best apologies I've ever seen ever. I really want somebody to actually top that. Really, really, really want somebody to really just pull out a banjo, a guitar, strum it along, and sing about their apology. Please do that. But the reason why we're going to look at today is this one here. Spoiler alerts, this is my second time recording this. The first time I did, the audio itself was just not getting captured at all. So my apologies about that. And I'm just messing around this a little bit more, get my voice up there a little bit higher. So that kind of explains why my voice just kind of rose up a bit.
All right, y'all, here we go. I had a feeling that I was going to make this video once shit started going down with my ex, but I'm just doing it right now. I'm going to get ahead of it. A lot of shit has already went down, and obviously I didn't want the situation to get as out of hand as it was. So I'm going to start off in the beginning so everybody can understand what this situation is, what happened, and why it blew out of proportion. So like a few months ago, I had started dating somebody online, which isn't a good idea, but what also isn't a good idea is that I told them about my YouTube channel, which at the time didn't seem like a big deal because they were also posting stuff online. I thought they understood like Lolcow culture. I thought they understood content. They said that they watched me a lot, and I was like, cool, that's what's up. I told them that, there's a risk to posting your face online. There's a risk to being associated with me. They said that that was cool. They were like, well, they didn't say that was cool, but they were like, oh, that's crazy. That's insane. Whatever. Now, I guess this is just me sort of being like naive or not really being in a lot of relationships, but I thought it was a good idea to start presenting this person on my channel. Obviously, in hindsight.
All right, I'm just gonna pause it right here. So this is something that I really do not like at all. I'm just gonna be real about this. I'm gonna try to kind of capture this in the best way possible. I think the last time I recorded this came out a lot better, but I do not like this idea of online dating, especially somebody who is a fan of yours. I am a firm believer. Today's day and age, online dating is a much more common presence than it was. Hell, even, I'm going to say it, 10, 15 years ago, I probably just shown my own age and everything. I was in college when Tinder first basically kicked off. I think Tinder was maybe around for a couple months beforehand. I don't know. I was in a relationship, senior year of high school, that ended going to college. But yeah, and I can't. I have not been on any dating apps for a couple years either. Very happily, soon to be hitched. But I'm just gonna leave it at that. My significant other and I. It's been a couple years, but I think online dating is a understandable, respectable, and no issue here kind of way to meet somebody. I don't think that's an issue at all. Where I see that being an issue is something like this, where a fan of yours reaches you out to you, gives you a shot, like, hey, I've been watching your content for a while. I'm a huge fan, yada, yada, yada. That already opens up a superiority level in of itself. Because you as the person, as this persona, already have a upper hand in a relationship dynamic. Whether that is intentional or not, no matter how you slice it, that is always going to be a factor there. But, and I'm giving a really big but here, it's how you use that dynamic and it's how you handle that dynamic where I think becomes a bigger topic of discussion. And let me put it to you this way. If a fan of yours reaches out to you, you choose to pursue this for whatever reason, I am never going to tell somebody not to do something as long as it is legal, there's consent, and yeah, as long as everything is on the up and up, I am never going to say one way or the other, what are you doing? This is wrong. The one thing I will say is if you are this internet personality, somebody reaches out to you because they saw you, in this case, on YouTube. You can also be on Kick, Twitch, streaming it, TikTok, whatever, Instagram. I think I'm just listing off all the social media aspects at this point. But anyways, this is where I'm getting to my point. I don't think it's an issue where somebody reaches out to you, says this, hey, I'm a fan. Sorry, it is an issue with how you handle it. If you're able to handle the situation by saying, hey, you know what? I know you saw me because I'm a bigger person on YouTube. In Leaping Lemur's case, I believe they were at about 75, 76,000 K subs at their peak before everything hit the fan. As long as you don't carry that persona, that superiority complex into a relationship, I don't think I don't think it's an issue then. But we're going to see here that it is an issue. Again, I'm not putting words in anybody's mouth. I'm just seeing it for what I'm seeing it as. You as a 75,000 subscriber channel chooses to kind of hop onto this discussion and say what you want to say about it, basically saying, hey, something happened between my ex and I, this and that. And then you choose to make a video about it. Well, who's going to get the bigger reach? A YouTube personality like yourself, or a fan of yours who I know you said, they are also on the internet, this and that. Let's be real here. Nowadays, everybody's on the internet and everything. But let's just get one thing straight here, though, when I say this. You coming out here like this right now, and I believe at this point, I'm not sure what has been posted. I know some things have come into Kiwi Farms, I believe, or some kind of discussions have happened, which prompted you to make this video. Your apology here is going to gain more traction. It's going to put you I hate to say it, in a better light, because you as a content creator have a lot more reach than somebody who does not.
Obviously, in hindsight, not a good idea. But, to be honest with you, I'm young. I'm 21. I haven't been in many serious relationships. And it felt like this person had a strong connection to me. So I thought it was a good idea. Obviously, learned my lesson. Never going to do that again. But what are you going to do? I'm sure you've seen this person in chat. I'm sure you've seen them come into my comment section. I'm sure you've all seen some of the things that they were saying about me, they were saying to me. There was obviously like it was a toxic sort of connection, right? To have somebody who is like obsessed with you over the internet and they want to be your partner, because when things go bad, when things go south, it usually doesn't turn out good. Like, people don't usually amicably separate. Things don't go good. It usually turns into a shit throwing fight most of the time, where people are throwing things back and forth. You did this, you did that. It should have been something that I had thought about, but inexperienced, I was blinded by the fact that I thought I had found somebody who I was truly connected to, and we had talked. I thought I knew this person. You get into this mindset where you're like, I talk to this person a lot, I know them more than this, I know them more than that, and it's just not true, right? It's just, I made a mistake. I just was not thinking right. That's the best way to put it. Now, I want to say, during this relationship, I was like the best I possibly could be to this person. Like, I gave them grace. They had made mistakes and I had let them make those mistakes. I'd sat there and I'd tried, and this was just me trying to like do the best by my partner,
As somebody who obviously is older than 21, as a 21-year-old, I made mistakes. Hell, I still make mistakes today. My significant other makes mistakes to this day. I will always forgive them. They know that. And no matter how old you get, call this an unpopular opinion, Mistakes are always going to happen. It's how you handle those moving forward. And saying that, this person made me be the best person that I can be. I forgave them when they made these mistakes. It's just complete bullocks. Did I really say bullocks? I'm not even British. I'm not even British. Why would I even say that? Oh my gosh. Anyways, so that's something right there that I believe it is just another kind of issue that I have in this quote unquote apology. Because if you're trying to say that, you're the best person you could be because of this person, then you're not really doing this stuff for the right reasons. Again, I'm going back to my original example I gave where you are saying that, this person was a fan of mine and everything. And again, you're using your platform to put you in a better light. However, when you say you this person made you, be better and everything, and you forgave them, to me, it just sounds like more that issue that I brought up again in my previous topic about this. It has to do with that superiority, with that kind of not equal partnership kind of thing. And it really does show here. And again, I don't care what age you are. I really don't. But we're going to get into some more serious topics with this. If you don't know anything about the Leaping Lemur, there are some more very serious topics at hand that I will be going into. Just know that I'm sorry, you're going to kind of tell that I do have a little more of a personal kind of opinion with a lot of this. I'm a firm believer that if you are two adults consenting, and that's all it should be. I don't believe in the idea that I do not I'll bring this up when we get to that point in this apology video. I don't know how much of the apology video I'm going to be playing on here, because I want to kind of get to a couple different points on here. This is not just going to be a single video on the Leaping Lemur. I'm going to say that right now, but for the purposes of this video right now, it's not going. I know Leaping Lemur did have a second apology video or final statement, or whatever you want to call it. That's going to be discussed another time. But let's just let them talk, and I do have some choice words to kind of provide in those said topics.
I mean, and like give them the space to grow and give them the space to fail and also succeed. But it just kept happening. Like bad things just kept happening one after another. And I'll get into the big sort of catalyst that made me decide that this isn't the person that I want to be with. But, it's ridiculous, dude, because you end a relationship with somebody. And I mean, I didn't do anything negative. In my opinion, I didn't do anything negative. I mean, we broke up. Like that's how it goes. But then all this shit gets thrown at me. I'm like, what the fuck? But honestly, everything with Lily was good. Everything with my last girlfriend was pretty good. We had a pretty good relationship. We got into a few like small little arguments and it was fine. The big thing that happened was when I went to go see her in person. Some people may know that I went and seen her in person. She posted a picture of us. People all over the place were talking about it, right? People on Kiwi Farms in particular, in the Kiwi Tubers section, were talking about it, which I understand. It's like, honestly, if I'm being...
That is another point of contention right there for me, is the fact that you flew out to see, and I'm just going to say their name because it sounds like that their name is publicly known. I don't know if this is their IRL name or another name they go off of on the social media web. But when you when you fly out to see your significant other, meaning that this is a long distance relationship, first time you guys see each other, I really do think some people had, I don't want to say any assumptions or maybe some kind of inklings or something. I don't know. But when it got to this point, though, where stuff went to the farms, and for those of you who do not know, Kiwi Farms is basically a main hub for a whole lot of uh Lolcows. Any information Kiwi tubers, I don't know if Kiwi tubers reflects upon other people in this realm like Smoky MCC, Kiwi tapes, Major Chilla, saturated content. Um yeah, so I don't know if that's really that. But again, I feel like anything to do with the farms is never a good sign.
Third night, I don't know what happened with this girl, but I'm being honest with you right now. We drank. It wasn't, I don't even think, I mean, I wasn't that drunk. Maybe she drank more than me, honestly. But then again, she's a fucking, like, she knows what she's doing. You know what I mean? She drinks more than me. Like I said, before we even got into the relationship, I didn't really drink. A lot of people know this. I don't drink on stream. She's the one who was like, hey, you should start drinking. You're 21. I drink, started drinking. So it
Let's make another point of context here. I don't know if this is brought up later on in the video, but Lily is 19. So you, as a 21-year-old, chose to give alcohol to a 19-year-old. And I'm gonna say this again. I think I say this so many freaking times in this video already, but I'm gonna be, realistic. I drank when I was in high school. I definitely, obviously, that means I drank before I was 21. A lot of people do. And, sometimes you get into those situations and everything where alcohol and, that kind of stuff really kind of messes with your head, and it puts you in a headspace that you may not be fully aware of. And I I don't know. I feel like this whole situation, you travel to see your long distance girlfriend. First time you guys see each other, you guys are at a hotel. And the first and you just talk about, drinking and everything and this and that. I don't know if this is coming from the headspace of somebody who is older and looking at this in a 2020 hindsight, looking at this in a older mindsets, but I don't know, something about that. Not as much the traveling long distance to see each other. Something about the drinking at a hotel together. That to me is I don't want to call it a red flag. Maybe let's call it like a yellow flag, I guess. I don't think I would outright call that a red flag, but it definitely is a questionable thing. It's not something that should really make you say, maybe I should not do this. Maybe I should be a little more cautious. But like, let's call it more so of a uh something to kind of keep in mind, I guess. Like I said, I don't think that this kind of thing is a red flag in its entirety, but this is where the hindsight part kind of comes in. I think the hindsight part is where it really comes in to say that yes, this is a red flag situation. And instead of hearing I guess, just a whole lot of more, well this, well that, yada yada yada, I'd rather just kind of skip around a bit in this video, so hopefully you guys don't mind if I do that.
Like, there's no way I'm going to stay with the girl. I should have listened to the people on Kiwi Farms when they said this girl was crazy, when they said this girl was BPD. I didn't want to believe it because I was in love with her. I thought I knew her more. I'd had deeper conversations with her. That's the bottom of the line. That's it. Like, that's all I can tell you. I thought I knew her better than these people did. And literally exactly what they thought was going to happen happened. She had a like freak out episode on me, started flipping out, started saying this, that, and the other. Like, so I mean, she left. She left. Let me tell you what happens though. She texted texted me the next day, spamming me like, I'm sorry. I can literally show you text messages right now. Those I got screenshots of. She's like, I don't know what happened. I'm just insane. I'm just crazy. I just went crazy last night.
So let's put this in a little bit of context here. I'm going to say allegedly because this has been because there's an old saying, there are three truths: his truth, her truth, and the truth. I or maybe three different stories. I think it was three stories. I think that's what it was. Yeah, it's his story, her story, and the truth. No matter what, any kind of things come out of this, no matter how many screenshots, how many comments, how many anything, there's nobody's going to ever know the 100% truth of everything unless you were there yourself as a bystander. I'm going to be real about that. However, allegedly, this is disgusting. I'm going to say that right now. I can't even articulate it in its entirety of what happened. There was a let's just say that if you know how you are with like alcohol and everything, you drink enough that the part in your brain that says maybe I shouldn't go like ding 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 may or may not exist. And again, whether the consent was there or not, again, I don't know. There's no, it's all just he said, she said at the end of the day on any story. That goes for really anything. Hell, I have stories myself that you could ask the other person involved in these stories. They would say something different than what I would say. And it's that same thing. It's my side, their side, and the truth. One of the funny things about that is there is so much that can be done with that to, sorry, I'm kind of readjusting my mic a little bit. There is so much of that that can be looked at. And yeah, I'm, and even like these screenshots here of these text messages and everything from Lily, it just to me just kind of shows, and I was 19 myself at one point as well. This to me just shows the mindset of somebody who unfortunately is dealing with some mental issues. And I don't mean that in a bright light either. I know how this looks. I was in this kind of situation. I was, like in this kind of stuff. I like mental health is very important. That is one thing I'm always going to stand by, is that if you ever want to just to find a way to better your mental health, go for it. I know you keep click on this video to basically hear another Lolcow documentary person with one brain cell talk about Lolcow. And I am. I mean, for all intents and purposes, Leaping Lemur is. But I'm also trying to be as real as possible as well when I say this. If you feel like you need help, go get help. That's all I can really say about that. And I'm not letting I'm not gonna like really listen to a lot of this other jibber jabber kind of stuff, I guess. I'm just gonna shoot over to this next text message he posts over here. And again, this is another issue that I have with a lot of internet, a lot of text messages, screenshots, everything. You are only getting a part of the story in all of this. I could already tell him this screenshot here. This was not a screenshot and that was it. This was, let me screenshot this whole thing on my phone and then crop out things I don't want to be shown. So again, I really don't understand how you could kind of look at this and everything. Um and I think I'm gonna dive more into this side of stuff on the next video I am gonna be making about this. But to me, I feel like I have dragged this on long enough in part one of this. Part two of this is part two. I mean, part two of this video, not part two of the whole story. Part two of this video, though, I think it's better to kind of look at the other information regarding all of this, I guess. Not this is basically the closing point between Lemur and Lily, and it's going into Lemur and other Lolcow documentaries. And that's where it kind of brings to this topic here. I tried looking for the screenshots where this was said, but again, I know other YouTubers have posted these screenshots on their own respective videos. Is that when you're in different domains, you have a lot of people talk about the same people. I know Tofiochu is a really big example of this. Looked up Tofiochu, we have a video from Smokey MCC, Heinzbug, Trendster, Turkey Tom, CXV, RHK Media, again, another one from Turkey Tom. Let's see here, any other Tofiochu ones? Here we go. Major Chilla, Smokey MC, Kiwi Tapes, again, because there were screenshots that came out from Lily saying that I believe it was Kiwi Tapes, Kiwi Tapes, this YouTuber over here who has almost 400,000 subscribers, has been accused, actually, you know what? About to drop a sub right there as well, actually, who steals their content and everything. This goes in any kind of realm of any kind of domain of content that you make. If it's a hot topic, multiple people are going to be talking about it. And when you look at, especially in the Lolcow world, Tofiochu is one of them. Like Amberlyn Reed, I believe, is another example of this. So let's see what happens if we look up Amberlyn Reed. Karina Kaboom, Lindsay, what is that, garlic bread? Yeah, garlic bread. Zachary Michael, apathetic facts. Lolcow bus. Again, the only time I would ever agree with somebody if there was any accusations ever of people copying each other in the kind of content they make is when they either take your work and paraphrase it or copy it word for word into their own video with the same exact videos, with the same exact everything. Yes, I will say that is copyrights. That is when you can say, hey, this person copied my work. However, you cannot say that people copy your work when you all talk about the same people. Oh, hey, I never. That's, if you wonder why I say bollocks that one time, it's because of this guy over here, actually. Yeah, again, I do not think for a second that people would be copying each other. I'm sure some people have, and that's the way of the internet nowadays. People do that. That's unfortunately the way how the world is now. But that being said, you as I believe almost 70,000K at your top level, accusing a almost 400,000 subscriber channel copying you is ridiculous. What's even more ridiculous is, again, I was not able to find the screenshots, but maybe, let's see here let's see if I can actually find the screenshots and everything of that. I really don't think I can. Again, like I said, This is a channel, and obviously, sure you can tell as well, this is very not scripted in the slightest. So my apologies for the very sudden pauses and everything, but let's use this as an example. Major Chilla, who is well, who was, excuse me, a good friend of Leaping Lemur. Again, in screenshots, Leaping Lemur basically just calls out Major Chilla and just says some stuff, like he's lazy, he's this, he's that, yada yada yada. Again, I'm just saying from what I've seen in screenshots, and again, unfortunately, I tried looking for these screenshots and everything, but if you guys have not been on the kiwi farms ever, it is a hot mess. I'm just gonna say that. But yeah, how are you gonna just bash your collaborative colleagues and everything? How are you gonna do that kind of stuff and be like, I am the right person, I am in the right in all of this, I said what I said and I have no regrets from it? How are you gonna look at yourself and say that? And we're gonna end this off on one final topic, just because I think it's something that really hammers it home on how bad this was for Leaping Lemur. Let's just hammer this home right now. So I believe the we could really, I think it's actually awesome with Social Blade. You can really see the downfall of where this really first happened. So you can see here on December 19th, plus 100 subscribers. And then I believe this is when the fallout started happening, was on December 21st. Minus 400 subscribers, minus 200 the next day, minus 1.5k subscribers, minus 2k subscribers, minus 900, then a big 7.1k subscriber loss, plus okay, let's do this. In 3 days, we have let's do the next 4 days. 10,000 subscribers dropped, which is insanity to see that happen from a channel that used to have almost 70,000 subs to now being down to 52.8k subs and still going down, I believe. I want to say that this, I don't know how accurate this count really is. I don't think there was any traction when I looked at this previously. But yeah, as okay, you know what? You always gotta look for the good in everybody. But again, in this alleged state that's currently in, there's nothing good I could say. I would say this person got what they deserved. Personally, I would wish that would happen to more people who do these awful things. But you know what? That's a story for another day. So I just want to say thank you all so much for tuning in on this. You know what? Actually, let me get this out of here. Actually, real quick. But yeah. With all that being said, though, again, thank you all so much for tuning in to what is my first actual long form video on this kind of topic. Like I said, there is going to be a part 2 with regards to the lemur coming in eventually. I don't know when. There's some other stuff I want to talk about first with other people. But yeah, thank you all so much for checking out the One Brain Cell Army. Once again, I know I said this in my first video, but big ups to Major Chilla. He I gotta be completely honest. Anytime there was any video game footage on these, Major Chilla was the reason why I did this. I think it's actually a lot of fun. Really does break the tension of some of these topics. So I hope you all have a great day and take care.